Watkins with another goal. Martinez yet again showing us why he is the world's #1 goalkeeper. This game had absolutely everything. Goals, sendings off, own goals, you name it. What a game. And the 3 points for Aston Villa. Fulham 1, Aston Villa 3. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help us on the road to 5k. We're going to go through the game, the key moments. I mean, there were so many key moments. And also stay tuned to see who my man of the match was. And also some shout outs for some excellent performances. And get your comments in. Let me know your thoughts on who was your man of the match and who deserves a shout out. So let's start off right at the beginning. The starting lineup and the subs bench was an absolute joy to behold for Aston Villa supporters. It has probably been about 18 months to 2 years since we've had a bench and a squad so strong. Martinez in goal, Matty Cash, Diego Carlos, Pau Torres and Luca Dean across the back. Then we had Onana and Tielemans as the two central midfielders. Jacob Ramsey and Morgan Rogers in front of them, Leon Bailey operating off the right and Ollie Watkins up front. But the bench included Boubacar Kamara, John McGinn, Ross Barkley, Emi Buendia, Jadon Philogene, Ezri Konsa, John Duran, and obviously our substitute goalie Joe Gauchi. But what a substitution bench that is, and you know, a true squad that we have now going into this key time in the season. And this is going to play a massive part for us. But the game starting, I thought, you know, lots of people were thinking Fulham, very tough game. They are very attacking at home. Adama Traore, Jimenez, one or two of their other players, Smith Rowe as well, you know, very attacking. Robinson down that left-hand side for them. And on 5 minutes, not even utilising any of those players, a simple ball back to the goalkeeper and a long clearance catches Pau Torres out completely, one straight ball. Raul Jimenez runs onto it, muscles Pau Torres off the ball, and the ball bounces up and he hits it into the bottom corner with his left foot in off the post, and you're thinking, oh my word, here we go again. Terrible defending from Pau Torres. You know, that's one weakness that he does have in terms of his strength and in terms of his pace, and maybe Carlos not covering around, potentially maybe we're a little bit flat as a back four, but still Pau Torres, you know, really poor defending there. He will be disappointed with that, and Fulham go in and 1-0 up after 5 minutes, and it's a real uphill battle, and we're thinking no clean sheet again, and it's going to be difficult. But what a way to answer straight back. We know that Fulham are going to be attacking. We know they're going to leave holes in and around there, you know, that attacking third that we have. And Morgan Rogers was going to create problems and cause danger, and Jacob Ramsey as well. And it was those two that linked up for the equaliser. Jacob Ramsey picking up the ball in a nice little area, playing the ball into Morgan Rogers, who we know once he gets running, he can take it past anybody. Carries it just to be just in front of the penalty box, curls the shot, and it bounces. It flicks off Calvin Bass's heels, totally wrong foots the goalkeeper and goes into the bottom corner. And Villa are 1-1, and it probably would be a save made by the goalkeeper, but you know, you take them. If you don't shoot, you don't score. And we go 1-1 after 9 minutes. And then following that, Villa really do take control, finding some really nice spaces. Leon Bailey beating his man a couple of times and putting some dangerous balls in. Morgan Rogers again just playing some fantastic football. One move down the right-hand side. Bailey plays a lovely little back heel into Morgan Rogers, who takes it past the defender, just scuffs his shot wide. We have crosses across the box, maybe should have gone into Ollie Watkins. Instead, we cut it back and it doesn't quite get finished. Morgan Rogers should have scored an absolute sitter, and the ball goes across from Luca Dean. I don't know how he doesn't score it, but he should be scoring that goal, and it misses the target. But we know we can get through them. We know we can get around them. And it was very surprising. Just before the half-hour mark, Fulham get a penalty. Ball goes into the box. Jimenez again peeling off Matty Cash. Heads it. Cash's hand is out of side of his body. It flicks off his hand. The referee initially doesn't give it, but then it is taken to VAR, and he does overturn the decision and gives a penalty. But we know the man in goal is just the world's number one. And we know that players have to have him in their mind. They have to beat, not only do they have the nerves of trying to score a penalty, but they have the nerves and the psychological barrier of Emi Martinez in goal. And Pereira steps up to take the penalty. He does a stuttering run up. He stops, and then he doesn't catch the ball at all. Doesn't get it into the corner. Emi Martinez drops down, saves it into his hands, and turns, salutes the Villa fans, kisses the badge, and it's just like a normal save to him. Saves a penalty, and we go in at half time 1-1. But I think it was probably a fair result for both teams. Fulham very dangerous on the break, in attack. Villa very controlled in possession and picking up spaces. Ramsey, Rodgers, Watkins getting into the game as well, and Yuri Tielemans nice and steady, marshalling that midfield. So it was a game where both teams would have probably gone into halftime thinking if they could get on their game, they could go on and win it. And it was thankfully Aston Villa that took advantage of that. And a series of corners. I think we'd had about 6 or 7 corners in the first half. After a series of about 2 or 3 in the second half, it was a slight change to the usual. We had looked to attack that front post, but more in towards the front post rather than going away. But this time, the corner from Tielemans goes slightly away, still aimed at the front post, and Ollie Watkins just peels off, heads it into the top corner. Absolutely phenomenal header. And that's 2-1 Aston Villa, and it's just a brilliant goal. After missing a couple of chances earlier on, missed one in the first half where ball goes through to him, lovely pass, lovely run. It just takes a touch, slightly heavy. Leno comes out and smothers it, and then another one just before his goal actually in the second half. Lovely little touch, and the defender just gets a touch and possibly could score an own goal. We'll come to that later, but he doesn't quite finish it. But a great header. Brilliant goal, and we're 2-1. Following that, we then have a red card. Joachim Andersen, brilliant break from Aston Villa. Morgan Rogers picks the ball up, sees Ollie Watkins pull off the defender, and he loves playing against Fulham because they do leave that space in behind for him to cause damage. He takes a lovely first touch after the ball from Rodgers across Anderson, who barges him in the back, trips him over, and it's denying a goal scoring opportunity, and it's a straight red card. Following that, we take full control of the game, and we do a lovely move down that left-hand side, ends up at Luca Dean, who plays a lovely ball into the box and just connects with it, just low cross into the box, and Issa Diop and Leno get in a mess, and it's a Diop own goal. 3-1, 69 minutes, and Villa fully in control against 10 men, and then able to make some changes. Ross Barkley comes on, John Duran comes on, and Amadou Onana, who had a really good game. Ollie Watkins as well, excellent again. They come off, and Fulham make a couple of changes and do actually get back into the game, and it does get a bit scrappy. It was great to see John McGinn get some minutes, and Emi Buendia also get some minutes, and Philogene Bidace ends up getting sent off right at the end for a couple of bookable offences. The second one, absolute joke. I did think at first view, and I thought that's a definite booking and he's silly, but when you look at it, he taps Reece Nelson, who goes down, and it's terrible refereeing, but it's academic in the end, but he's going to miss one game, and that's another player potentially out of the squad next week, where we're just getting the players back. And if there's one player who hasn't quite fired this season, and one area of the pitch that we look a little bit suspect, it is on that right-hand side. And Leon Bailey, while he was some flashes of real good play in that first half, in the second half he did give the ball away a hell of a lot, and was replaced by Philogene on 61 minutes. And it does seem he does cut a bit of a frustrated figure. So it is a little bit of a quandary at the moment. Does Philogene, who can't seem to get a run of games, now he's going to miss another game? Or do we keep playing Leon Bailey back into form? Or do we look into the January window for a potential right-sided winger? Because we are really close to having an absolutely phenomenal squad that could challenge on all fronts, whisper it quietly. And then you've got Matty Cash, who we know how wholehearted he is, but he does have those moments where he doesn't quite concentrate. He's not quite as able in those attacking areas as well with his first touch or with his crossing. So there is an element there where we do have to look at that right hand side when we see how well our left hand side is playing. And Luca Dean, since the arrival of Ian Maatsen, has been absolutely masterful. Got himself back into the France squad. He's putting in phenomenal balls into the box. He's solid in defence. And he's playing absolutely brilliantly at the moment and seems to be getting better and better. The older he gets, the more mature he gets with his performances. And he was excellent again today. And Yuri Tielemans in that midfield, just an absolute joy to watch. For 1-2 touch, getting tackles in, playing balls over the top, playing through balls, controlling possession when he needs to, guiding Onana through the game as well, who put some fantastic challenges in. And Yuri Tielemans was fantastic. Morgan Rogers again, I mean, what more can you say about this guy? Picks the ball up in so many great areas and just goes at players, beats players, takes players on and scores his goal, which, you know, is a bit fortunate, but again, well deserved. I thought Diego Carlos was excellent again at the back. You know, maybe didn't cover Pau Torres, maybe a bit flat in terms of our line, but after that, when they did try any of those long balls, he was in there covering, he was there sweeping up, and I thought he was excellent. And now we have this competition for places. Players want to keep their place in the team and are having to raise their performance level. So I thought Diego Carlos was excellent. I thought Jacob Ramsey, back to his best, beating players, and that link up, that trio of Ramsey, Rogers and Watkins, when that gets playing and when that gets firing, it's an absolute joy to behold. So that was just fantastic. And Ollie Watkins, what more can you say about him? A little bit quiet in the first 15-20 minutes. Then as he gets into the game, as those spaces open up, he's so threatening, he's so dangerous, and scores his 5th goal of the season. Bullet header, absolutely brilliant, and maybe could have got 1 or 2 more, but we know how good he is. But for me, I would give my man a match just to Morgan Rogers. I thought, you know, he was excellent all game in terms of his running with the ball, his power, his beating players. He scores his goal. He plays the pass through for Ollie Watkins that gets the sending off. And he was just fantastic. But, I mean, Tielemans, again, just such a good player, such a brilliant player to watch. But that would just Morgan Rogers for me would be man of the match. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. A fantastic win as well, puts us 4th in the table. And with Arsenal losing as well, puts us level on points with them. Only 1 point behind Liverpool. Going into Bournemouth next week, who obviously had a great win against Arsenal today. But we have got to be looking at being really confident now. Looking at the squad that we've got. Looking at players that want to come in and perform. Want to come in and play because they want to keep their place in the team. As I said, great to see McGinn back. Great to see Buendia back. Ross Barkley coming off the bench. Ian Maatsen didn't even get on today. Boubacar Kamara didn't even get on today. It is just brilliant at the moment to be an Aston Villa supporter. And yeah, a fantastic win in a game that we thought was going to be really tough. And Fulham were decent, you know, certainly that first sort of 25-30 minutes, you could see they were threatening. But we have a maturity about us now. We have a way of playing. We have a style of play. We have players that can step up in the big moments. Emi Martinez with the penalty save, Ollie Watkins with a goal at a key point, Morgan Rogers driving forward, Yuri Tielemans controlling that midfield. It's just fantastic. So yeah, brilliant win. Brilliant to see us get the 3 points after the international break, where there are so many silly and funny results that can occur. So great to see us keeping that consistency. We'll be back potentially tomorrow for our full match reaction plus a preview for the Bologna game in the Champions League. We've got talking tactics as well to come. We've got match reaction to that Bologna game. We've got preview for Bournemouth. We've got all sorts of shows coming up this week. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Get your comments in, your thoughts on today's game. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Help us on the road to 5K. And thank you for watching. And as always, remember, we all follow the Villa.